Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another episode of Why We Play the Game. Today I want to talk a little bit about artistic expression and addiction. Are you guys addicted to the game like I am? You probably are, or at least you might think you are. Well, let's talk a little bit about it. And like I said, why we play the game. For me, it's really more about artistic expression. It's always been that way. Growing up reading Tolkien and other fantasy novels and science fiction novels, especially, I was absolutely blown away by the ability to create my own worlds, my own galaxies and star systems and planets and adventures for my friends. From the very beginning of the game, I've been a forever dungeon master, and recently I've had the ability to actually get to play some games online with some seasoned veterans like myself, who are also more or less addicted to the game or playing the game because of their similar desire to create adventures and, in the long run, stories that will last in our memories for a good long time. Are you like so many people out there that are addicted to your portable electronic device that you can continually watch videos and music and things like that? Or are you too busy working on your next adventure? Hopefully it's the latter. Hopefully you're working on your next game for your friends. And if you're not, instead of watching another one of my videos or one of the other great content creators out there, I recommend, instead of looking for the next new shiny game or module or accessory out there, like so many of us, you probably have a huge collection of books and games out there. Instead of going out and buying the next thing because so and so told you, hey, this is the best game ever, blah blah blah, I'm going to suggest that you guys go look through your collection. It might be only a stack of half a dozen books, or maybe a library of gaming history like myself. Go look and see what you got. Go look through your collection. Maybe pick up a book and peruse it. Check it out and remember why you bought it in the first place. Is it still valid for your gaming group? Can you still squeak out another adventure out of it, another campaign? I'm betting you can. I'm betting that if you really look through your collection, you'll find things you forgot you owned, or pieces of information or stories that you just completely forgot about. And trust me, reading the things you already own with a fresh set of eyes, especially after the past couple of years and how it's changed us all. Go look and see what you've got. Pick something up that you haven't picked up in a while. Dust it off and dive right into that classic game, or even a classic novel or comic books, or whatever your previous addiction was, whatever your passion for reading was. Go pick something up and take a look at it with fresh eyes. Even if it's only been a year, I bet you'll come away with some new insight as to why you bought it in the first place, instead of spending your hard-earned money on an overpriced book that's gonna go down in value. Let's be honest. If you wait a couple of years and pick up that same book, I guarantee you it'll still have the same information and the same intrinsic value, but the price will have come down because the hype will have come down. I've got a stack of old video games like Grand Theft Auto and Hitman that I've never played. I bought them used because I knew the games would still be great when I got a chance to go play them. And instead of paying the $50 price tag for when they first came out, I picked them up used, and I guarantee they're every bit as good a game as they were when they first came out. But without all the hype, I can play them at my leisure and not worry about, oh no, another game's going to come out next month and I'm going to have that. You don't. Whatever the game so-and-so is hyping this particular day, week, or month, or even year, it's still going to be a great game if it stands up to the test of time. If it's only good because it's good now and because everybody's saying, oh, you got to play this game, I'm not interested. I've got 300 plus RPGs in my collection, and a couple of dozen of board games and war games that, I'm getting up there in years. I'll probably never get to play half of them unless, I get to open up my store, in which case, I'll have plenty of people coming in wanting to, oh my God, you play that game? Oh, let's play that game. Because time is short, and we all have a finite amount of it, as Baron's so fond of saying. And we appreciate you spending the time with us, whether it's watching one of our videos or hanging out with us in a live stream or playing a virtual game over the internet. You only get so many of those moments to enjoy, and you probably work pretty hard for your money, and you probably, like I said before, spent a lot of money on a game and then you shelved it because you didn't like it. Well, maybe you like it now. Maybe, when you first got it, the hype was so much that it just didn't hold up to your expectations. But if you look at it now, you'll be like, you know what? This was actually a decent game. Especially if the story, the setting, I should say, is something new or fresh for you. That's what I look for, instead of looking for the next new set of die rolling mechanics, which I could really just don't give a rat's ass about. Dice pools, single dice, what denomination of dice you use, doesn't matter. What matters is the setting and the adventures that can be had by playing that particular game. There's a couple of games out there that a lot of people try to use for other settings and other genres, and you know what? 9 times out of 10 it works. If you've got a great setting that you want to share with us out here in TV land, please do it. Instead of writing up the rules for it, just tell us about the setting. Tell us about the world. One of my favorite world setting has always been Arduin, and it's gone through many changes in game rules and mechanics and things like that. But that's not what draws me back. It's the colorfulness of the world, the nuances and the intricacies of that world. And I know a lot of you guys out there are creative little sons of a guns. Go out there and write the setting. Write the setting first, then worry about the mechanics, the rules, how you're going to roll the dice, what dice you're going to roll. Because I'll bet you that the setting will invariably dictate how you should run a game in that world. I'd love to see more game settings than more rules. I really don't need any more rules. I could probably crap out a set of rules that'll be adequate at the very least for 90% of the gamers out there. It's the creativity that you put into your game as a game master, as well as being a player. If you make a memorable character, people are going to remember that character years from now and how you played that character, as opposed to the lucky die rolls that you got. Because those are going to happen. You tell me your dice are cursed. Maybe you're just playing a crappy character. I don't know. That could just be, my jaded opinion on such things. But I bet if you play that character well, if you run that game world well or great, as we should all hope, that will be the reward in the end, along with the stories you get to tell afterwards. For me, I got to play a game this Monday with Rick from 28mm RPG, and I couldn't wait to come downstairs and tell my son all about it. And he was like, "Man, I wish I could have played," because that's why we play the game, for the memories afterwards. Obviously, for the living in the moment, being there in character, and playing the role of your character and enjoying all those aspects. But what you really get to take away is that story. Go ahead and drink, guys. That you get to share with other gamers or family members that are slightly interested. Complete strangers, when you're talking about the game you played. Well, that will eventually or inevitably lead to talking about those great stories, to show that you are in fact a pretty damn good gamer, because you've got these pretty damn good stories to share. And at the end of the day, I think that's what we're all looking for. So instead of going to your regular addiction, regardless of what that is, maybe spend the time and dive into one of your old treasured books in your collection, or grab out, your pad of graph paper, your notebooks, and start writing something for the next game. Even if that game doesn't happen for months or years down the road, you'll be ready for the players, you'll be ready for the DM, you'll be ready for the next adventure. And until then, folks, I hope you guys have a whole lot of adventures this weekend. I'm getting ready to have a little adventure this evening, and I cannot wait. So I'm going to say good night to you guys. Have a great weekend. I hope we see you Saturday for the Sci-Fi Shadow Chat, or maybe over at Max's Legion of Myth, or somewhere else down the road. And until then, happy trails, guys.